If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about your problems don't make you unique. And I do these YouTube lives every Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys do find this video content of value, you guys can show your appreciation by hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing this to your friends and family, whoever that needs it. And if you guys do want to further support me some more, I have some links down below in the description down below, so you guys could go check it out over there. That being said, I'm going to be talking about a recap episode, which is related to what we're going to be talking about today. And the episode I'll be talking about today is problems that are in front of you are actually behind you. And the slide I'll be focusing on is called cracks in the foundation. So the choices you make might be hindering your success, the relationship you're in, and do you find yourself constantly in the same type of relationship with different people? Why is that? Why does that always reoccur? And why does it keep happening? And how can you change it so it doesn't happen again? And it's really important to note that in this position, you want to focus on things that are controllable. You want to control the controllables. There's only so many things that you can do. And when I say you want to control the controllables, what I'm saying is the only person that you could ever really control is yourself. You can't control other people. I know other people might think that they could, but that form of control is all an illusion. It's not real, and it doesn't last very long. But you do have the potential to control yourself, how you think, how you act, what your belief systems are, what your philosophy is, things like that. You're able to focus on that. So focus on things you can't, because focusing on things that you cannot change will eventually set you up for disappointment. So now think about it like this: the job that you're at, if you're unhappy, are you doing anything about it to change? Do you feel stuck? And if you do feel stuck, what are you currently doing? And when I'm saying doing, I'm talking about actions. You need to apply actions in order to change your circumstances. Now, success is dependent on prior preparation. And what Tony Robbins says is, repetition is a mother of skill. Hello, how's it going? Repetition is a mother of skill. You are the sum of your daily habits. So think about the daily habits. What are your rituals? What are some of the things that you are constantly doing? Are you focusing on waking up, and the moment you wake up, you're just focusing on checking on your phone? What are you pouring into your mental factory? Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. So focusing on your daily habits. What are you currently doing? Now, what are you doing after you wake up? Are you just headed out? Do you take care of yourself? Do you prepare yourself to be ready for whatever you're doing? Are you excited about what you do? Those are all very important things. Now, I want you guys to reevaluate your circumstances. So let go of the things that's constantly find ways to enter up your mind and take up space. Okay? Now, I avoid watching a lot of news. It's not that I don't like the news. It's just the same thing happening to different people. It's always something bad. It's never something great. And every now and then they might throw a puppy in there and just be like, oh my God, look at that puppy. So cute. But it's usually tragedy. So I personally love to move away from that. Now, when you're happier and you're in a relaxed state, you're going to be much better company for the next person to be in your space. But if you're constantly being upset, if you're constantly a type of person that aggravates, that's easily angered, kind of walking on eggshells, and we all know that one person that you can't really be yourself with, because any little thing that would potentially get them upset will basically ruin your day. It's like walking on eggshells. That's not fun. So you have to be good company in order for other people to want to be around you, so that you could create that space for them to enter your life. So think of it like the job that you're doing. Are you enjoying what you do? And if you don't enjoy your job, it's gonna suck for a very long time. If you wake up every morning and you hate the person or you dislike the person that you're with, you're not gonna be enthusiastic about waking up next to them every single day. So really, you got to pick and choose. You got to vet your partners, because that's going to be one of the biggest things, biggest factor in your life that's easily going to influence you and the jobs that you do, things that you do in your life. Do you like purpose? Do you like a reason to wake up every morning? That's huge. You can make all the money in the world and still not be fulfilled. So that being said, familiarity breeds content. So if you're wherever you're at and you're just familiar and you're just like, you know what, I'll cruise along, you're not going to find anything in your life very exciting. So a lot of things that you constantly do, your daily habits, focus on that and then learn to get better at what you do, because you're going to be doing it a lot anyways. In other words, also, you also want to get out of your comfort zone. You don't want to stay in your comfort zone. All right. Now, let's move on to the meat of the topic. All right. So your problems don't make you unique. Your problems don't make you unique. Everybody has problems. Okay. Everybody has problems. Rich people have problems. Poor people have problems. Our problems don't make us unique. It's the obstacles that we overcome that makes us unique. How we learn to solve problems, to be efficient. We live in a world where it's constantly another problem. If it's not this, it's that. I mean, just think about it. Well, like 5 years ago, right? About 5 years ago, everything shut down. Right now, we have another problem. Last week, you probably had another problem. There's always going to be problems. My question to you is, how do you solve it? How do you solve that problem? The real reason why we think about our problems and why we think our problems are bigger than other people. So, Crystal, the main reason and the real reason why we think our problems are bigger than others is because we don't feel what other people are going through, right? Like, say, for example, if you stubbed your toe, it probably sucks. It hurts, okay? It got a fat bruise on it. But then this other problem is like, well, they have to remove a limb because of a certain disease or whatever. It's like, yes, you could think about it and be like, wow, that sucks. But then what you're dealing with right now is you stubbed your toe and that's it. That's the only thing that you're really thinking about. So what I am saying is you have to learn to empathize and feel what the other person's feeling too as well. Now, reality is there is not a problem out there that no one has not encountered. You're hurt because your significant, here's an example. So you're hurt because your significant other betrayed you, or, you know, you're not left alone now with this divorce. What's up, Carrie? Thank you. So you're hurt because your significant other probably betrayed you, and you're now left alone with this divorce, and you have to split everything, half your assets and everything that you ever built. Now, this doesn't take away from the issue. I'm not saying that it's going to be any less painful. What I am saying is, and I'm not saying that your problems are not real neither. What I am saying is that it's not unique. You're not special because you have that problem. And I mean, I could talk about my problems all day, right? Because everybody has problems. But it's just, how efficient are you on solving those problems so it doesn't reoccur again? Or at least delay it as long as possible, right? Now, depending on your outlook or attitude, the same situation could be devastating or inspirational. So one person can make a mistake in an investment, right? You spend a lot of money, you invest it, and you lost a lot of money. But you call it an experience and a learning lesson. But another person can view it as a waste of time and losing money, and I'm never doing that again. And those are the people that you want to kind of stay away from, because they do one thing and then they're like, you know what, that's it. It's kind of no different than a person that gets hurt in a relationship and they feel like, damn, there's no good people out there. Or maybe you dated 10 people or you went on 10 dates and none of the dates went well. It's like, have you ever put in enough time to work on yourself, to change something
so that when you do approach a new relationship or a potential date or whatever you want to call it, that is it going to change? How are you changing? Because like I said, the only thing that you can change is yourself. So the way we manage our problems is by understanding and having a different outlook. That's the only way for things to start changing, because the alternative stalls and prevents progress. And a quote by Jim Rohn is, we all must suffer from one or two pains: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces, regrets weighs tons. Excuse me. All right. I have a feeling that this might be a pretty short live, but I will go through this pretty quick. So, by the way, if you guys have any questions, leave it in the live, or if you're watching it on this in this rerun, leave a comment down below. All right. The pattern of self-pity. Is this too loud? Yeah. The pattern of self-pity. And Albert Einstein, at least this was, I think Albert Einstein said this. Anyways, we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. So the mindset and a way of thinking will get you into this cycle of self-pity, preventing you from actually taking action to make your problems less. So by Jim Rohn, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. And you can't just sit there and just wish for more skills. You got to actually put in the work and work on yourself to build that skill up. And you know, just think about it like this: where in this world, the only two ways of, hold on, my other cat, you okay? So in this world, you make money in one of two ways, right? Either service or selling stuff, right? By selling products. And the better you are at solving someone else's problems, the more money you will make, the more valuable you become as a person. But if you're just a person that you're just there to take up space, you're not really doing much in society. So in other words, become someone better. Become someone that can be of help. Now, you can't solve everything, but you could be great at solving one particular problem. It doesn't mean that what I am saying is, you can't be great at everything by focusing on everything. You could be great with one. There was a quote, okay? I wish I have that quote right now in my mind, but I don't have it. Mitchell and his quotables. I don't have that quote right now, but I'll figure it out one day. I'll figure it out. But anyways, don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills, right? Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. So apply an action. Now, when you're in this position of self-pity, you're justifying. A lot of people will sit there and they justify that the problems are special and that they don't really need to do anything because it's that special. Oh, my problems are unique. You don't have that problem, so no one has it. I can't solve it because it's never been done, right? Because quote unquote, no one would truly understand how hard I have it right now. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure someone has dealt with that, and maybe potentially even worse. But you know what? What you feel is what you feel. But what I am saying is, your problems are not unique. Chances are it's not unique. So I want to give you an example of there is no difference than a person who watches other people's problems thinking that their problem is worse than yours. If you flip it around, it's like, damn, their problem is way worse than mine. Oh my God, here's an example. Oh my God, look at John and his wife. Look at John and his wife. Did you hear that his wife is cheating on him with his best friend? So not only is he about to divorce his ex-wife, he also lost a best friend. And believe it or not, that happens more often than not, all right? And so it's like, if you are comparing yourself, your problems, and be like, damn, like he had it way worse, then it's no different than saying that my problem is way worse than yours. And you're not really solving anything. You're just comparing the two. And when you get into this pattern of other people's problem are bigger than yours, or that my problem is bigger than theirs, this cycle gets you stuck in this negativity loop. And the lack of innovation, basically, and the lack of perspective will ultimately prevent you from progressing. So nothing changes. Nothing changes. And so for the third slide that I'll be talking about, which is feeling better versus getting better. And I've talked about this before, versus paying attention versus getting attention. You know, I might divert this a little bit, but the difference is a lot of people don't like to pay attention to themselves. They don't, because think about themselves requires too much work, and we do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So the pain of becoming a better person. So the pain, here's an example. I like to dance. The pain of me watching another person dance, listening, staying focused, trying to learn that dance is a lot harder than it is to me to just watch that person and be like, wow, that person knows how to dance, or that dance looks pretty cool. It would be cool if I could learn it, but it's too much work. So like I said, we do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. And so paying attention to yourself is a lot more difficult than just getting attention. All right. So now I'm talking about feeling better versus actually getting better. Most people in life, like I said, they compare their lives with other people, especially in social media, right? In this age of social media. What I am saying now is don't compare someone else's highlights to your reality, because it's totally different. You know, I know some people that live this lavish life, that travels a lot, but they broke. They are broke. They don't make a lot. They spend more than they could afford. But, you know, they're like, you know what? If I feel good and I enjoy what I do, I'd rather be in debt. Look, to me, I don't think that's a wise choice, but who am I to say? Who am I to say that they can't live their life the way they want, right? So remember when they say don't trust everything you see or hear? This is especially true for social media. Excuse me. I think my allergies gotten worse because I got two cats. Two cats now. All right. The only way to become better is when you take action. Okay. The only way to get better is when you take action. You can try to argue with me about it or argue with somebody else. You might feel better about it, but you will soon find yourself in the same situation again. Because if you think about it like this, we all probably know that one person that all they do is talk about their problems. Yes, she's staying with me full time. They're running around. You may or may not see them, but I'm also like, anyways, I'm reorganizing this place, cat proofing it so that if they do climb up, and you know, yeah, so it's fun. They're playing with each other and they're chasing each other. There's a little hissing here and there, but you know. But anyways, let's see. I was talking about, we all know someone that talks about the problems a lot. And I'm not saying that you can't talk about your problem. What I am saying is, if you are going to talk about it, you should be able to find a solution and not just talk about it. Excuse me. Because, like I said, we all do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So, here's an example. Someone that always complains to me about another person. And I'm like, look, I get it. You're talking to me about it, but it has been going on for so long, and I'm tired of hearing it. I just don't want to hear it. What you actually need to do is confront that person and tell that person to stop treating you that same way. That's the only way. But because you want to avoid the pain of quote unquote confrontation, or the quote unquote pain of confrontation, that you're not willing to confront that issue with that person, and now you're stuck and you are no longer getting that pleasure from actually trying to solve that problem. Because if you solved it and it no longer comes back up again, then there's that pleasure, but you do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So it's like this negativity cycle. And so all they do is talk, but now this time they complain, the problem resurfaces again. Oh, but this time it's different. I'm like, what's different? The topic? Because it's the same situation, the lack of confrontation. Excuse me. So when you change, so I really like this quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. He's, I've said this many times, but you know me, I like to say things over and over and over. All right. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Dr. Wayne Dyer. So there are certain people, like I said, that loves to talk about it. And if you enjoy being stuck in, and having people feel bad for you, thinking that you're the victim, having them feel bad for you, right? Then you can continue to talk about your problems and do nothing about it and just continue to talk. Just leave that shit away from me. Keep it somewhere else. To go bother somebody else, right? There's always another person that's willing to, that might listen to you, but eventually they're gonna find a way out, right? And there's enough people in the world where you could do it constantly until your day comes, and then you just end up on the ground, right? Or you could just be like, hey, you know what? If I learn to solve this problem, I'm gonna have other problems later on, and that's fine. But you become better and more efficient at solving problems. You become more competent at solving problems. I never knew that there could be a way of thinking of this mindset of a philosophy, at least, before. I never thought like, damn, this is a problem I could solve. Or if something else comes up, I'm like, yo, I could solve this problem. It's different. It's not within my scope of practice, but I know I'm good at solving problems, so I'm able to solve that problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, one problem could be, for me, I felt good about being able to solve people's problems in relationships. And then that kind of led me to, well, if I'm good at solving those problems, what makes you think I can't solve this problem with my car or something that goes wrong with my computer? Like, I could solve that problem by believing in myself, in other words. So being competent, being efficient, and having the confidence and of being able to solve your own problem is a huge factor in life. And that is where your value is for yourself. And that's how you feel confident about yourself. So, but there's, like I said, there's people out there that thrive off of like being the victim, feeling bad, having other people feel bad for you. And they thrive off of that. Like, they feel good. Like, damn, look at me. I suck. And you should feel bad for me. And I'm like, no, I don't. I really don't, because you have arms and legs and you choose not to become better. So, but if you truly want to work on not having the same problems reoccur or resurface, something needs to change, and that starts with you. I got one more slide left, which is taking action moves you forward. So, Dale Carnegie, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. Sometimes the best approach, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the best approach is to create distance. Create this gap, create this distance. And I'm not saying that you run away from it, but what I am saying is by distancing yourself from the situation, you create the space right here. You create the space between the problems so that you don't ruminate on it. Think of it as taking a light break. Just taking a light break. And look, maybe you've been working all day and you're like, you know what? I can't focus. Same thing happened to me. I was working on my slides yesterday and I'm like, look, it's 1 o'clock. I'm tired. I'm trying to push it through, but nothing is being creative right now. I'm not being creative. I needed to step away. I didn't want to, but I had to. I needed to go to sleep. I needed to take a break. And when I woke up, I was like, wow, there's so many more new ideas. All right. So like I said, by distancing yourself from that situation, you create the space so that you don't ruminate on that problem. Very, very different than running away from it. All right. You're not running away from the problem. You just Look, I need a break. I'll come back to it. And the reality is, things will always go wrong in life. Okay? And our job is to overcome it the best we can. Our job is to overcome it the best we can. The takeaway over here is that when things do go wrong, don't go with your problems. Just don't go with it, okay? Focus on a solution. It's funny because when I first saw this, it made me realize that there was this one time I was in, I think I was in New York. And I was trying to buy something. I was at a flea market. I was like, what, in my late teens, early 20s? And there's this one guy. He was like, yeah, I have this. Yeah, come with me. I think it was like looking at some shoes or something. But like it looked kind of sketchy, right? So don't go with the problem. Focus on a solution. Literally, he had me follow him. He's like, oh, you want that? Come with me. Go look. So I'm walking, and there's like no lights. It's more and more sketchy people. And I was like, look, something does not feel right. And I just turned around and walked away. I stopped following his ass. I don't know what could have happened. Okay, I don't want to find out. But like I said, don't go with the problem, especially if you know that's a problem. Focus on a solution. And my physical solution was to walk away. And that's what it was. All right. That's the first thing that popped up in my mind. I was like, okay, don't go with the problem. Focus on a solution. Now, I don't know who this is. Zig Ziglar. All right. So the more you complain about your problems, the more problems you will have to complain about. I thought that was I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of true. All right. The more you complain about your problems, the more problems you have to complain about. It's the law of attraction, right? Focusing on negative or negativity and problems can attract more problems in your life. Like that person that always talks about the problem. If it's not that, it's this. If it's not that, it's this. It's always something new. It's always something new. But by shifting a different mindset, shifting it to a positive mindset, it could lead to better outcomes. So if you think about it like this, the more problems you face, the better you become at dealing with them. And the bigger the problem that you face, the greater the level of growth that you will have. So think of it as a checkbox. You know, you have this problem. If you have a problem, write it down. And if you write it down, most people know when they have a problem, there's certain things that they can't do. Very rarely do they feel like they can't solve a problem. Very rarely. Now, especially with this age of like social media, you could Google anything and find something out. If you want it to be more happy, you could, how do I become more happy, right? First thing, when you Google that, they'd probably be like, all right, you want to be more grateful, right? Focusing on being grateful, things like that nature. And you could solve that. And you probably know the answer. But like I said, we do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So you telling me I got to be grateful? I got to think about all the good things that I have, not what I want. So we know that. We know the answer, okay? It's just that now, if you think of it in this, it's all perspective. It's all mindset. So remember when I said people come to you as gifts? You can always solve other people's problems, but never yours. Yeah. It's because it's so much easier to just point and just be like, you should do this. You should do it. It's like, well, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? And those are the hypocrites. I'd stay away from them. Also stay away from people, especially, with this. I remember I was just taking so many bad advice from people in bad relationships, thinking that they got the answer. And obviously it's like, I've been doing this for so long now that when I see a problem that comes up, I'm like, and I have like the basic foundations of understanding women in particular. And I just understand. I'm like, all right, when she has a problem, I just gotta let her talk. I want to fix it. Naturally, I want to fix it, right? I'm like, you need to do this. You need to do that. Girl, you should go over there, right? It's like, what's the problem, babe? What's going on? What's on your mind? All right. Tell me what's bothering you. And then once I'm done listening, and when I say when I'm done listening, it's really her saying that I'm done. I feel a lot better. Thank you for listening. She knows exactly how to solve her own problems. And, when I have issues, sometimes I like to talk about it. Sometimes I like to talk about it. Some other times I like to just like stay quiet. That's just me. Okay. And I tell people all the time, like, look, don't take it personal if I step away. It's just me on trying to figure out so that I could be in a better place, so that you could be in better company. So, when I focus, like when they say, oh, who's the most important person to you in your life? It's like me. I'm the most important person in my life. Here's why. And it's not a selfish act. It's because when I am at my 100% self, you get 100% me. But when I'm lacking and I'm not enjoying myself, I'm not going to be good company for you. And what you want is 100% of me when I can only give 50% of me to you. And that is not fair. That's not fair for me. That's not fair for you. And it's not a fun time. So I need to understand, and I'm pretty aware of my feelings sometimes, which is very feminine, right? But I'm aware of my feelings. But how do I recenter myself, and how do I reground myself so that I become better company for you? And there's people out there that I do confide in, and I do let them know my issues. And thank you if you're one of those people that's hearing me out. But everybody, like I said, everybody has problems, but eventually I always find a way out of that problem. And and it's not unique. I'm not saying yours is worse or mine is worse, or yours, it's not a comparison, big or small. But what I am saying is, like, the problems out there are real, and how do you address it? And so I like to believe that things come and go, and whatever comes to you, a relationship, people, whatever it is, it's a gift. Circumstances that comes to you, obstacles, problems that comes to you, it's a gift, and it's difficult to think about it at that moment because you're kind of caught up in your emotions. Because during that moment, it's like everything feels like it's just against you, life sucks. This is what's happening. I can't change anything about it. And it's difficult. But like I said, by me being able to create a certain distance from that problem, right? Like a few weeks ago, I had some personal issues. I physically stepped away from it because I was visiting my girlfriend. And when I came back to it, I'm not saying that the problems went away, but it was a lot less. And because it was a lot less, I was able to reapproach that problem and find a better solution. And so, like I said, I know during the moment that when everything feels like it's against you, probably it's best to take a step away. And, just dealing with all this. And you just have to realize that the problems that you have, like, the universe rarely ever gives you an experience that's wrapped nicely in the present. But if you look at it as gifts, people that come to you and all these things that feels like it's happening to you, it's a gift to you for you to solve bigger problems and become more competent and more confident in solving problems. And the beauty of that is what happens after the storm. What happens after the storm? How do you come out of that? Are you a bigger, better person because of that? And it's learning how to solve problems and knowing that it's not any special than anybody else's. It's just that whatever you feel right now currently is because you feel it, and it's hard to empathize with other people when you have your toe stubbed versus they have to chop off one of their limbs because of something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if we just focus more on what we could do for ourselves, like paying more attention within ourselves and learning about and understanding and being aware of our issues, you don't really need to focus much on other people's problem other than yourselves. But like I said, it's easier to point the finger, and when you point the finger, 3 points back at you. So remember that. That being said, guys, that is the end of the show. I know it's a little bit early for that, but yeah, 30 minutes or so. So the summary of the slides are, well, everyone has problems. Everybody has problems. Rich people have problems, poor people have problems. Our problems don't make us unique. It just doesn't. It's how you solve it and what comes out of it. How do you become, how do you become a bigger and better person coming out of that? Number 2 is the pattern of self-pity. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we use to create them. Albert Einstein. When you're in a position of self-pity, you're justifying that your problems are special, and that when you say that your problems are special and it's unique, nobody understands how I'm feeling. You're just stuck, and you stay stagnant, and there's no progression. You don't do anything about it because you're like, well, this is special. No one knows this problem, so just stop. Feeling better, number 3, feeling better versus getting better. Focusing on negativity and problems can actually attract more issues. It's the law of attraction. But shifting to a positive mindset can lead to better outcomes. Number 4 is taking action moves you forward. So things will always go wrong in your life. Our job is to overcome it the best we can. The takeaway from it is when things do go wrong, don't go with your problems. Focus on a solution. That being said, thank you guys for watching. I know it's a little bit shorter. And I'll catch you guys on the next live on Saturday. Next Saturday, the 29th. All right. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you guys want me to do a topic, let me know that too. Maybe I can solve some of your problems. That being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. All right. Peace. You can't always solve it. Yeah. All right. Peace.